there's I find a very beautiful passage in the text. And this passage in the text is one of the clearest and most insightful reminders of what conditions arising are all about. And it emerged from a yogi named Kassapa, not the Kassapa of who was with the Buddha, but another yogi named Kassapa. And he had a simple question. And I think if we could take this question or questions to heart very, very deeply, it would change and transform the way we look at many, many situations. It's an extraordinary sequence of questions, and the Buddha's response I find are very, very significant. And the question starts off. The Kassapa says to the Buddha, "This suffering which I experience, do I bring it upon myself? Am I the cause of my own suffering? Do I just make myself unhappy? Is it my fault? Do I have to take responsibility for all this mess that my life gets into?" I'm just putting the single sentence and in a little variation in the language. And the Buddha looks the man straight in the eye and he says, "Don't say that, Kassapa. Don't say that." So then Kassapa says to him, "Well, if I'm not bringing all this suffering on myself, I'm not the cause of it, I'm not doing this to myself, making myself unhappy and miserable, then are others doing it?" Those others could be a person or persons in the present, or it could be from the past, my mother didn't love me, etc. And so various people in my life, both past and present, they have made me like I am. And the outcome of that is that I'm unhappy and I'm suffering, and the cause for it is others. And the Buddha said, "Don't say that, Kassapa." Then he said, "Well, if it's not myself and it's not others, is it both together? So it's some bit of other people, their stuff, something in myself that's arising, and between another and myself, I make myself unhappy. Something from them, something from me goes together and I become unhappy there. And similarly, something from them, something from me, and thus I make others unhappy." And the Buddha said, "Don't say that, Kassapa." So then Kassapa stops. He says, "Well, it's not me. It's not others doing it to me. It's not a bit of them and a bit of me doing it together. Is it then just the Pali word, aducchata, I think it is, something like that, has about 4 or 5 different meanings to it. Is it just by chance? These things just happen. Not my fault, not her fault, his fault, not both. Just happens. It's just fate. It's just my destiny to suffer. It's the hand of God. It's a punishment for all my sins. It's just the circumstances." Don't say that, Kassapa. So then Kassapa is a little bit confused. Doesn't know how. Not me, not other, not both, and not neither. And there's no other choice. So then Kassapa says to him, "So what you're really saying is actually there's no such thing as suffering." Once again, don't say that, Kassapa. "So there is suffering." "Oh yes, there is." "Where does the suffering come from?" Then the Buddha says, "It comes from dependently arising conditions." The conditions are there for it to arise. This is the second noble truth. The conditions are there for it to arise. If the condition or conditions change, it cannot arise. And this rather profound insight. And as I say, I regard it as important. Not only important for our own exploration, but also at every single level. Whether it's the therapist with the client, whether it's the group in the workshop, whether it's the political leader and the nation state and the sense of others are the problem. Any kind of view which arises in which the view is self, other, both or neither, will be problematic. It won't be seen clearly. And it's a great challenge for us when there is an issue, when there is a problem. Instead of getting into the self, other, both, neither syndrome, which we easily do, and one of the neither is, it's karma. There's another popular Eastern, it's just karma. But rather looking and seeing what are the conditions that brought this about? What's going on here? And then once we inquire in that way, there isn't the opportunity, nor the need and nor necessity to blame. When the self is involved, blame will come. Moving out of the self viewpoint, which is very strong, of course it is, moving out of the self viewpoint may give us a real opportunity to look in fresh ways. What are the conditions? What's bringing this about?